Welcome back to the Grand Prix Report, where we break down the drama, the strategy, and the rivalries that define Formula One. Today, we're heading to Budapest for a Hungarian Grand Prix that gave us one of the most intense finishes of the season, and possibly the best intra-team battle of the year. McLaren fans, you're gonna love this one. Let's dive into it. Lando Norris walked away with his 5th win of the season and 9th of his career, but it wasn't easy. Not with Oscar Piastri breathing down his neck in the final laps. The two McLaren drivers, locked in a championship battle, went head-to-head in a strategy-fueled showdown that had us all on the edge of our seats. It all came down to lap 69 of 70, with Piastri launching a gutsy move down the main straight. He dove in late under braking into turn 1, locked up a tire, and came inches from colliding with Norris. But Lando held his nerve, and the lead. Different strategies set the stage. Norris went with a one-stop strategy after dropping to 5th on the opening lap. Piastri, who started 2nd, was on a 2-stop, giving him fresher tires for the final push. In the closing 20 laps, Piastri ate up a 10-second gap, cutting it down to nothing. But despite the pace advantage, he couldn't quite make the pass stick. Norris was absolutely spent at the finish line. He said the team didn't initially plan a one-stopper, but once he fell back on lap 1, it was the only way to claw back. And when Piastri started closing late, Lando said he was pushing flat out, every corner, every lap. Piastri, meanwhile, tipped his cap to the team, but admitted they ended up on the wrong side of the strategy call. He knew he'd have to pass Norris on track, and around the Hungaroring, that's never easy. Pole sitter Charles Leclerc led early, with Piastri settling into 2nd and Norris getting shuffled to 5th after an aggressive move on the inside didn't pay off. McLaren's game plan quickly evolved. They pitted Piastri on lap 18 in hopes of undercutting Leclerc, but Ferrari responded perfectly, getting Leclerc back out just ahead. That left Norris still out on track to commit to the one stop, and that's where the race turned. When Norris finally pitted on lap 30, he was still within striking distance. Once Leclerc and Piastri made their second stops, on laps 40 and 45, Norris cycled to the front. With Piastri in clean air and on fresh rubber, the chase was on. He passed a fading Leclerc on lap 51 to move into 2nd, and from there, it was a relentless pursuit. Lap by lap, he chipped away until he was under a 2nd back with 5 laps to go. But Norris had help. Traffic. Lapped cars gave him access to DRS, just enough to keep Oscar behind. When they finally broke free, it was a head-to-head duel to the flag. Piastri's big chance came on lap 69, but Norris shut the door. Let's run down the top 10. Lando Norris, McLaren. Oscar Piastri, McLaren. Just 0.6 seconds behind George Russell, Mercedes. Fastest lap of the race, Charles Leclerc, Ferrari. Fernando Alonso, Aston Martin. Gabriel Bortoleto, Sauber. Impressive rookie drive Lance Stroll, Aston Martin. Lawson, Racing Bulls. Max Verstappen, Red Bull. A rough weekend, Kimi Antonelli, Mercedes. Picks up a point. Notably, Lewis Hamilton finished 12th for Ferrari, not the result he or the team would have wanted. Leclerc was hit with a 5-second penalty after squeezing George Russell at turn 1 during a late race battle. But with the gap behind too large, he kept 4th place despite the infraction. With McLaren celebrating their 200th Grand Prix victory, we head into the summer break with the title fight heating up. Norris is now just 9 points behind Piastri in the driver standings. This rivalry? It's real, and it's only going to get better. We'll be back for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort on August 31st, a high-speed, high-risk circuit that always delivers. That's it for today's episode of the Grand Prix Report. If you love the drama in Hungary, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share the show with fellow F1 fans. We'll be back next week with more analysis, driver stories, and paddock insights. Until then, keep it fast, keep it clean, and remember, it's not just about the speed, it's about how you win.